Good morning, evening, and afternoon, and welcome to part 58 of Aokana, no彼方のフォーリズム. Last time we were kind of just, it's not for me to explain, but we were finishing off trying to get the club back up and running. Can't remember her name. Rika's club, our rivals' school's club. The name's on my tongue, but anyway. So we are just about got them up and running. Everything seems to be working well. And we are now back and training at our own club. And now there was talk about how Rika should stay with her club for a while because they obviously had their little moments, and it's just better for her to be with the club in a sense. But unfortunately, what are the names? Sorry, it's been just about a week and I can't remember the names. Great. Misaki and what's the club manager's name again? Sorry about this, Maruka. Misaki and Maruka were really wanting Rika back because Rika helped the club in a few ways. Helped keep it clean, as well as Misaki just enjoyed having her around as well. Nearly every single club member did like Rika being around. So with Rika not being there, they felt a bit somber, a bit down in a sense, like this rain. While trying to figure out what they're going to do next, they get a surprise visit by Rika. Everyone was a bit surprised, but specifically Masaya was quite surprised by it. But that goes into the next topic about how quite a few characters have started noticing the small connection or the subtle feelings between Masaya and Rika. Maruka, I think, has seen something. I think Asuka noticed something, but I don't think maybe I'm thinking of someone else, but there's a bit something there. And SunaeVN had noticed as well. So I feel like SunaeVN wanted to be considerate to Rika by allowing her to train more at the the Masaya school. The school's name's on my tongue. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, so there seems to be everything's back to normal. Except for Asuka. Asuka seems to be injured still and unable to practice with them, which is unfortunate. Adds a bit more to it. But yeah, so the next day arrived, and we found Masaya talking to Maruka about club possibly being cancelled because of rain. Obviously with him, we notice him talking to Maruka at his house, so we can assume that's either Saturday or Sunday. Because I mentioned last time, if there was about club, they would have spoken about it at school and not after school, and anyway. There was something about trying to get a hold of Rika to let Rika know that practice was cancelled, and could not get hold of Rika. So he assumed that maybe she was already at the club room. So there he was. He went to the club room and no sign of her at all. But then the rain was light, as it says here, was light when he left home, but then started to become stronger and louder. A bit of a longer intro. I just feel like this moment is probably going to be the second turning point, or the second key moment between their relationship, or their connection, I should say, between Rika and Masaya. The first point obviously was when Rika was down in tears and he held her close to him. But I feel like there's something going to be happening here. That's why I left it here last time and came to, yeah. So let's see what's going to happen. Yes, I'll wait it out. I reach out for the door handle and swing it open. Is this... Sorry, I'm just... Okay, yeah, he's outside, looking inside. And he'll wait it out and he'll go inside. So I thought he was inside already because he says he waited it out. And when he says he peered in and noticed there was nobody inside, but then as soon as we started seeing this, then I feel like someone's inside. Yeah. I had a feeling it was going to happen like this. Okay, just had to check. Whoa. And at that exact moment, I see Rika sitting down, soaking wet. Sorry, I didn't know anyone was in here. Make my way over to a chair and plop down on it, making sure to keep my eyes off Rika all the while. We remain in silence for a while. But eventually, Rika begins to speak. 今日の部活は? The rain, obviously. I tried to call you to let you know, but you didn't pick up.
そっか。私今日はスマホを置き忘れてきちゃったから。
Yeah, that makes sense.
慌てて出てきちゃって、それで雨に降られてこのありさまです。
That's unfortunate. I wanted to mention, with her line here, it was more like, I got the rain soaked me, as you can see, or as you can make out, in a sense, like as you can obviously tell, is what she was really referring to.
なんかこう、飛びたいって気持ちが先走っちゃって、いけないですね、こういうのは。
This might go back to the other story, the other parts I forgot to mention, was that we have a feeling that Rika's trying to portray herself as like Asuka, or like trying to change the way she is to try and help the club in a sense. Her personality itself. And this one again, it doesn't feel natural to me. But yeah. She forces a chipper tone in what seems like an attempt to distract me. Normally I just follow her lead, but not today. Hey, Rika?
これはお説教ですよね。ごめんなさい。明日の練習でセット追加とか。あ、それだと私は逆に喜んじゃいますよね。
Yeah, I started noticing it as well now. It just doesn't feel like her. Thank you. She's clearly confused by my sudden outburst. By sudden outburst, it makes me sound like he was shouting it out, like thank you, in a sense. But maybe it's just more sudden words, is what they're saying. I'll apologize in advance in case I'm wrong, but there's something that's been bothering me.
何のことですか?
Are you forcing yourself to act all bright and cheerful because you feel sorry for us? It feels like you're trying to be Asuka.
マサヤさん。
The rain grows heavier. Pounding changes to pummeling. The crackles of thunder still sound distant, but they're closing in at an alarming rate. Rika remains silent for a while, but eventually her shoulders slump. She sighs, then slumps to the floor.
すごいです、マサヤさんは。
Damn, I was right, huh? Damn sounds weird. Yeah, yappari. Yeah, I don't understand what the... Yeah is like, well then, or in that case... Like, in that case, I'm right. Or, well then, I guess, the damn is like weird. Really, I don't know, understand why they said damn. It almost makes it sound like he's upset that he was right. But from the Japanese, I didn't get that feeling.
はい、ちょっとだけキャラを作ってました。やっぱりアスカさんとクナハマの皆さんに申し訳なくて、アスカさんと一緒に練習してクナハマの皆さんにとってどれだけ大切な存在か知りました。その存在がなくなった時にどれだけ辛いかも。
I was gonna say, I find that actually quite interesting. Because when they started Kunahama, that's the school's name, their club started to finally get together. The only people who were missing was Asuka and Rika. But funny enough, the ones that we kept wondering about where they are and how they're doing was Rika. I don't think Asuka was at the club room at that time as well. So it's interesting how Rika seems to be more important than Asuka at the current moment.
だから少しでもその代わりになれればって頑張ってみたんですが、付け焼き場はすぐにわかるんですね。
Honestly, it wasn't. At first I thought your real personality was finally shining through.
だったらなんでわかったんですか？
You came off too perfect. And that's when I realized it was just like you to go out of your way to help others. At this point, Rika lowers her head. I appreciate the thoughts, but you really don't need to do this. Personally, I'd prefer it if you put yourself first. I told you there was no need to act tough in front of me, right? Back when she broke down in tears before me. Back when I helped her shout her problems into the sky. I thought I freed her from most of the pressure that was weighing her down. So there shouldn't be any need for her to do this. Rika sighs. The rain continues to beat down on the windows from outside. The sound is growing ever louder.
マサエさんは少し勘違いをされていると思います。
I am?
そうです。
Rika smiles sweetly.
確かに私はクナハマの皆さんに接するときにちょっとだけキャラを作ってました。それは間違いないことです。でもそれって決して無理してたわけじゃないんです。
Oh, I don't understand. I'm sure faking your personality must take a ton of effort. Forget over 10 days, I'd have been tired of it in an hour.
なりたかった自分になるため頑張るっていうか、無理とか強がりじゃなく、そういうのだったんです。
Okay. You mean...
アスカさんみたいになりたかったんです。
Really? She nods.
はい。あんな風に心から空を飛ぶのが好きだって言えるようになりたいなって思ったんです。
It reminds me that Masiya did have a similar feeling, or Asuka, in a sense, Asuka changed the way he thought of flying as well. He found it admirable, and I don't know the other word I'm thinking of, but I think that's why I can can understand Rika because Marcia thought the same.
空を飛ぶのが好きだってことは紛れもなく嘘じゃない。本当のことですから。
I know.
好きなことを素直に言えるってすごく大変なことなんです。少なくとも私の中では重労働です。
I found that quite an interesting line. Because it's so troublesome, I guess you could say, when there are so many romances out there that just don't follow through with it. But I wonder if she can figure out from her own words as well.
だから強がったりしても見たんですけど、それは明らかに無理してて辛くて。そんな時にマサヤさんと出会って強がるなって言われて、もう一度自分で決め直そうって思ったんです。自分がどこに向かえば楽しいのかって。
I see. Rika wasn't just changing her personality to help us out. She was doing it because she wanted to. She wanted to change the way she was approaching Flying Circus. So she used this opportunity to do just that.
黒渕さんとの対戦の時、強くいたいって言ったのを覚えてますか？
Of course I do.
その答えなのかなって思ったんです。楽しくいられることが。だから一番楽しそうにしてる人を見て、こうなろうって思ったんです。
Sure, Asuka lost to Kurobuchi, but the way she went about it was unlike anyone else. I'm pretty sure even Kurobuchi was confused by her antics. Which makes sense since I doubt anyone's ever tried to teach her the importance of having fun. Somehow that seems to have triggered a change in Rika instead. Well, I'm not gonna complain. At least that means that match wasn't entirely pointless. Though we can't exactly celebrate it since Asuka got injured and all.
というわけなので、あまり心配しないでください。私はちゃんと元気です。
Okay, I understand. Rika is far more mature than I've given her credit for. I feel bad for getting ahead of myself and forcing her to explain things. But hey, it's good that we cleared the air.
そうだ、もう一つ作ってない本当のことがあるんです。
Sorry, say that again.
作ってない本当のことがあるんです。
So what confused me there for a second there, the tsukutenai, the kanji itself as well is to make. What I haven't been able to make, or the tenai, I'm not too sure about the grammar in that. Nai is negative. Tenai. It's been a while. Honto no koto is more like the koto is things and honto is like real thing. About the real thing. So from what I can gather is maybe I haven't confessed about the real reason, or I haven't, like, let's just say, so I'm just putting my own words into this now because I'm just trying to think it out, because it doesn't feel like I'm just trying to nitpick now. I don't know why I am today. Weird. Anyway, but yeah, that's fine. Anyway. Oh, what's that?
それはですね。
Music stopped. At this point, Rika shuffles in toward me.
マサヤさん。
Rika's arm coiled around my back before she squeezes me tight. Huh? What? Rika?
本当のことはこれです。マサヤさん、私のことを気遣ってくれてありがとうございます。感謝の気持ちと今マサヤさんを抱きしめたいって気持ち、これは全部本当のことです。
I gaze down at Rika's slender frame. She fits so snugly in my arms. It always seems like Rika has things under control, so it's hard to remember that she's actually younger than me. I'm sure it was hard enough being a regular at an elite flying circus school in her freshman year before the Kurobuchi incident. All this added pressure must be eating away at her. You can always rely on me. I whisper those words into her ears as I curl my arms around her body. She's kind enough to worry about others, but still manages to find time to think about herself as well. I thought I'd already suppressed these feelings when I first noticed them. I'm trying to think now if we've seen those moments when you try to suppress them. I feel like there was one moment. I don't think I can hold them back any longer. I want to be there for Rika, but not just because I'm her coach. I hug her even tighter, having decided to show her how I truly feel.
はい、頼ります。
Rika responds in an almost inaudible voice. The rain outside hasn't let up at all, so there's this continuous stream of droplets striking the windows. I doubt anyone will come here soon, and it's hard for us to leave right now too. I know I shouldn't let my mind wander in that direction, but I gently release her, then gaze straight into her eyes. She has such a beautiful, innocent face. I could stare into these eyes forever.
はい。
Rika gives me a curt nod. Guess I have permission. Oh, weird way of saying that. There's a lot of kanji I can't read, unfortunately. She realized what I'm about to do and has shut her eyes. God, I'm so nervous. Sorry if I'm ruining this moment. I think that's right. I'm really nervous, yeah. This is worse than the first time I flew. My grip tightens to a point where I'm worried about hurting her. I take deep breaths to calm my shaking body and slowly lean in toward her. And that would be confirmation. Our lips touch. Hers are the softest things I've ever felt. The wording is a bit weird here. It almost feels like he's obviously kissed before, and then hers was just the softest he's ever felt. I mean, obviously it's probably just saying that's ever touched his lips, but anyway. My lips go numb as they press against hers, my heart racing at 1,000 miles a minute. However, oddly enough, my attention is drawn to our breathing instead. I breathe breaths mixed together in the air. I don't think this has ever happened to me before. I guess first kisses come with a bunch of other firsts. We part after what feels like forever. Rika looks up at me with glazed eyes as she clings to me. Our breathing is still ragged.
好きです。
That was quite a nice one, actually. The bit of whispering, in a sense, really adds to the emotions, the room, I guess you could say, the atmosphere. She mumbles that before burrowing her head in my chest. I gently stroke her hair. At some point, my clothes must have dried. I really like you too, Rika. I had to admit the truth. I mean, that kiss was, to me, quite admitting. I had to confess my feelings to her.
嬉しい。嬉しいです。
The rain is finally letting up. We can easily fly home now if we want. But instead, we choose to stay here and bask in each other's company.
すっかり遅くなっちゃいましたね。
Okay. I gotta admit, I was getting a bit worried there that we might have to see our first 80 scene straight away like that. Mainly the reason why I thought it might have been was the mood as well as the ambient feel itself, the rain themselves, drenched in water itself, ready, and anyway. But yeah. I'm gonna go on a little bit more. I just want to give my thoughts about the confession scene. I kind of did feel like I ruined it for myself as well in the beginning. Just before it happened, I kept mumbling and going on about the translation. But as the confession itself, it was actually quite nice. I was starting to get a bit worried that he might initiate the confession. The reason why I was worried was because he didn't really show as much emotion, or not emotion, but more like feeling towards Rika up to that point. Comparing Rika to him in a sense, where Rika has shown that. So I was really hoping that Rika would be the one to do it first. I am still a little bit... How can I say this? I kind of didn't want it to be this quick, in a sense. The confirmation of each other's feelings. Mainly because Rika at first was, from what I can tell, unsure at first. She obviously could tell she did like Masaya. But comparing that to then Masaya himself, where we hardly saw much of anything to how he felt with Rika. Also, what I was kind of thought would have happened or hoped happened was, sure, she had confessed her feelings towards him, but he himself being unsure or not sure of his own feelings at that point as a coach and as well as being friends with her itself. I was hoping for a little bit of hesitation, I guess you could say. But other than that, it was quite nice. As I said, the atmosphere itself, I could feel something was gonna happen. And it was just alright, I guess you could say. Now I wonder how the things are gonna go on. Yeah, sure has. We've stuck around way later than we should have. Why, you ask? Well, to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, it was so we could make out. That was... Sorry, 1 second. I didn't like the English way of saying it, honestly. It's... obviously it's not the right way of saying this, and I do apologize for some who might take this wrongly, but that, to tell you the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, to me sounds too American. I don't know. There's just a thing that instantly came to mind. Anyway. I don't want to go into more detail since it's kind of embarrassing, but I promise we didn't go further than kissing. I was hoping it didn't, because I was starting to wonder if I did not have the plus version, as you could say.
早速ちょっと文句を言っていいですか?
No, go ahead. Shit, did I miss up already?
キスしすぎだと思います、マサエさん。
Rika's face turns bright red as she says that.
恥ずかしいです。もう。
Sorry. We may not have done more than kissing, but we did a lot of it. Not satisfied with just her lips, I moved to her neck, then her ears, then her cheeks, and so on. I didn't stop for a second.
いや、いいんです。いいんですけど。まだこれからできるんですし。
You're right.
だから、ちょっと我慢もしてください。ね。
Okay. We share a smile as I let out that response. I gotta admit, her little net at the end was quite cute. It's quite interesting.
じゃあ、帰りましょうか。
Yeah. We link hands as we take to the sky. There isn't a cloud in the starry sky above us. I'd never think it was just raining if I hadn't seen it with my own two eyes. I was gonna say, that's a bit abnormalishly quick for the clouds to depart. Sure, they probably spent hours there, but still. Anyway. Okay. Start with some stretches.
Hi!
Now, when I mentioned, let's see what's gonna happen now, when I mentioned that, it was more like, are they going to keep it a secret? Are they going to let them all know? Have they already let them know? Or what will they think about it as well? When you're done, do some field flying. After that, we'll move to the next set of 20.
Hi!
I'm trying to think of who's okay is who's. This I'm feeling is Misaki, Mashiro, and Rika. Rika is like Kurt's quick, straight to it. And then Misaki is like, okay, like trying to, she's just how I feel like. Anyway, let's get this practice started.
お願いします。
I just let everyone in on our schedule for today's practice session. Now, I'm watching them from a little ways away, but I spot Madoka waving at me from a distance as she approaches. That line just feels weird. Damn girl, really? That Osoi, is that Madoka's name?
仕方ないでしょ。兄ちゃんが体育大の推薦通ったから今日から筋トレだってそれで2時間近く付き合わされたんだから。
Oh, that broke on there. Okay, no, it's not. Where's that Shirase? Sorry, hold on 1 second. It's there. Is that Sune? Sorry, 1 second. I think it is. No. Anyway. That English just was not for me. I'm kidding. Good job. I toss Madoka a drink, which she catches with ease. She flashes me a smile in response, then plops down next to me.
元気そうだね。
You mean Rika?
もちろん。あの後話したの？
Yeah, a little.
そっか。何言ったかまでは聞かないけど、気のせいかな。今日はあまり構えてない感じがする。
You think she's acting different?
自分で意識して型を作ってるなーってのは同じなんだけど、それが自然というか自然体なポーズっていうのかな。
You're giving me a headache.
とにかくいい方向にはなってるってことだよ。安心してる感じはあるもん。
She does, huh? I think back on what happened last night as I listened to Madoka. As soon as Rika and I part in front of her house, I get a text. Wondering what it could be, I open it. Sender, Rika Ichinose, subject, thank you very much. Thank you for everything today. Sleep well. I want to see if I'm pretty sure it will change. It does. I like that. I gotta say, this is one of the best things I've seen in a visual for quite some time. Not only to be able to change the English to Japanese, which I love, but also that the CG art itself changes as well. And that's not something that people really put a lot of effort into, I should say. Talk about diligent. I know Rika well, so I didn't expect much else. If it were Asuka, I imagine she'd have straight up said she liked me in the text. Note, I'm just guessing. If it were Mashiro, I imagine she'd have told me that she liked me in a roundabout way. Note, I'm just guessing. Is it... I think this is Jordan Takedo, joking of course. Or maybe I can't remember the Japanese for guessing. Anyway. If it were Misaki, I imagine she'd have just gone straight to sleep without texting me at all. I'm just guessing, but I'm almost positive I'm right. But Rika's sending me a thank you and a good night after we spent a ton of time making out. I'm not trying to criticize her at all. If anything, this text encapsulates what I love about her. Though I do kind of wish she'd be a little less formal in texts. But as I say that, another text arrives. I open it immediately. Sender, Rika Ichinose, subject, not applicable. Blank. So to me that makes me feel like either a picture or her being embarrassed about it. Blank, blank, blank. Oh, okay, it's just a lot of spaces. And then right at the end it's gonna be... Yeah. I love you. Suki desu. Yep. Oh, daisuki desu. Even better. So, of course, for some people who don't really know, suki desu, this is just love you or like you. Normal, plain, alright. Dai is meaning big or a lot. So, like you a lot. Yeah, I'm definitely saving this. No way I'll risk this getting deleted. Imagine it took her a long time to work up the courage to send this text. Bet she was writhing around on her bed before she finally managed to press the send button. Yeah, this totally took a ton of effort. I mean, it sounded like like this message just came out straight away right after that other message, so it doesn't sound like it took a lot of time. I'll treasure it forever. Naturally, I immediately move it to store to store for safekeeping. She's more at ease now. I hope that's because of me. The biggest change is that Rika has a boyfriend by her side now. And seeing that she's changed due to that alone has my heart pounding.
だから言葉の端々にも余裕が。っておい、聞いてるひなたくん。
Yeah, I totally am.
聞いてないときはちゃんと聞いてないって言いなよ。さすがに今のは聞いてないってわかるぞ。
Sorry.
ともあれ、よかったじゃない。これでアスカちゃんが戻ってきたら、それはそれで楽しみになりそうだよね。
Asuka, huh? Asuka should be back around the end of summer break. There's something I've been thinking about.
アスカちゃんのことで？
Partly, yeah, but it's mainly about Rika.
ほうほう。
I'll whisper my plan directly into Madoka's ear. Our whirlwind summer break will soon come to an end. Only 10 days left until the start of the new term. And shortly after that, we have the fall tournament. We have a date. What answers will Rika come up with for herself, for both her personal and Flying Circus lives? And will I be able to guide her to reach her desired results? Guess I shouldn't worry too much. There's nowhere for me to know until the time comes. Whatever the case, I'm sure Rika's going to take that tiny frame of hers and fight back with all she's got. No unique middle ground. So yeah, I'm going to end it there for today. Quite impactful. So I already mentioned my thoughts on the confession scene. I forgot to mention as well, sometimes I'm glad to see those types of scenes, because that tells me I did not reach a dead end or bad end. That my choices were good. Obviously we kind of knew we were going into the Rika route for quite some time, but anyway. Trying to think now. So we know the tournament now is in shortly after the start of the new term, and the new term starts in 10 days. Well, from when that was done. So I don't know how many days has passed since then. Since we have this beach scene CG, I can tell we're at Kunahama. I've already got mixed up the name. Anyway, we know that they're at this Masia's training spot. They use the other CG beach scene for the Fujigasaki or Fujisaki. So these names. Anyway, so now we know that Shindo has come to visit us. Probably come to see how Rika's doing, I'm guessing. So interesting enough, they haven't mentioned it to the club, their current relationship. Madoka, of course, really noticed that there was something between the two, so she can really kind of guess what the current situation is. There's a lot of random thoughts going to my mind. I'm still quite surprised that this is the 58th part already. It's quite a long, common route into a long route itself. But yeah, I felt a bit iffy, a bit off about the translation in today's episode. I mentioned it before, where you don't normally have one person doing the translation for the whole thing. You normally have multiple translators working on different routes and parts of the official novel. Well, from my previous knowledge. It might have changed, of course. And most of the Rika's routes has been fine. I actually haven't had that much of issues for a while now. But just today, I felt off about it. I think that's kind of why my thought process just wasn't there for the confession scene, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I still enjoyed it. Still quite nice. Yeah, not sure what else to say. I'm looking forward to seeing how everybody's reactions are to the current relationship between Masaya and Rika. Specifically like Shindo, SunaeVN, and other club and the normal club members. I want to see what their thoughts are. Probably not going to say very much about it, but I just like to see their reaction, I guess you could say. Now I'm just mumbling on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next, what the training is going to happen, and I'm sure we're going to hit the training of the tournament soon, with Asuka joining us as well. So until then, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please know what you thought, and I'll see you all next time.